sentences which we are going to continue. The next phrase for today is but for had it not been. But for you, I would have failed. This is an affirmative sentence. Now we change into negative by rewriting it as had it not been for you, I would have failed. Do you see, children? Here, but for you, I would have failed. This we change it into had it not been. But for changes into had it not been. For you, I would have failed. Let us take another example. But for my walking fast, I would have missed the train. As I have told you earlier, but for will change into had it not been. So we start the sentence, had it not been for my fast walking, I would have missed the train. Is it clear, children, here? But for changes into had it not been. Let us take the next phrase. Only, no other, none but. This sentence which starts with only, we rewrite into two different types. One with no other and the other one is with none but. No other and none but are negative phrases. So let us see once again. Only a fool will behave like that. So this we change as no one except a fool will behave like that. Again another, none but a fool will behave like that. Here we have to see that if the sentence is given like this, starting with only or with only, we can rewrite this sentence in two different forms, in negative forms. Using a negative phrase, no one, none but. We take another example. The orphan boy has only his uncle to look after him. This is affirmative. Now let us see the negative. The orphan boy has no other except his uncle to look after him. Another one, the orphan boy has none but his uncle to look after him. If you see these two examples here, in one example, the first one, we have used no one and none but. We have begun the sentence with that, those sentences with those phrases. The same phrases in the second example, we have used them in the middle. So, we can use as per our requirement and as given in the sentence. In the first example, only was given in the beginning, so we use them in the beginning, the negative phrases. But in the second example, only is given in the middle and we have used those negative phrases in the middle of the sentence. Now let us take the next phrase, have to, cannot but. You have to get by heart 20 lines from this poem. You cannot but get by heart 20 lines from this poem. So, have to, you change into cannot but. Here, cannot but is a negative phrase. We take another example. One has to observe the rules of the road while walking in the busy center. Now this can be rewritten as one cannot but observe the rules of the road while walking in the busy center. Just following these sentences, you can try some more sentences. So the next phrase is had to, could not but. If you see this phrase, the driver had to lower the speed as the railway line was under repair. Now, the negative phrase we use for had to is, it should be with could not but. So, we rewrite this sentence using this phrase as the driver could not but lower the speed as the railway line was under repair. We take another example. The servant had to be dismissed due to serious misconduct. The servant could not but be dismissed due to serious misconduct. So have you seen how had to, the sentence, the affirmative sentence with had to, how we have used could not but, a negative phrase, and how we have rewritten it. We start with the next phrase, if not, unless. If you see here, the sentence, if you are not quiet, I will send you out of the class. Unless you are quiet, I will send you out of the class. Here again, which starts with if not, you have to rewrite with unless. Take another example. If he stirs, I will strike. Unless he stirs, I will not strike. We take the next phrase, very few, not many. Very few kings in history are so great as Akbar. This we rewrite as not many kings in history are so great as Akbar. Another one, very few friends can be relied upon in times of needs. There are not many friends that can be relied upon in times of needs. Here if you see the first example, we started the sentence with this phrase, not many. In the second example, we did not start with not many. We started as there are not many. So, according to the need, you can make certain changes there. So, now we go to the next phrase, very much, not a little. The bamboo is very much useful to the poorer classes in several ways. The bamboo is not a little useful to the poorer classes in several ways. So very much gives the sense not a little. It's just not a little. A lot it is helpful. If you cannot get the meaning in once you read it once, try to read 2-3 times, then you will be able to understand it better. We take the other one, would rather. She was prepared to face death but not humiliation. She would rather face death than humiliation. Would rather. Using this phrase would rather, how we have to rewrite the sentence, we see here. Another example, he was prepared to take punishment but not to tell a lie. He would rather prepare himself to take punishment than tell a lie. So with this, we complete almost all the phrases. A new topic in transformation of sentences, that is degrees of comparison. You know the adjectives, no children? In that we have degrees of comparison. You know the adjectives now? So this we divide into 4 models, 4 types. We start with the first model. Here also we find one sentence is in affirmative, the other will be in negative. Here, the first model, when there is a comparison between 2 persons, 2 things, or
నేను కూడా హాయ్ చెప్పేది హాయ్ everybody.
we start the new topic in transformation of sentences, that is degrees of comparison. Here when we talk about degrees of comparison, we are keeping adjectives in mind. Here we divide this into 4 types, and the first one is model 1. In model 1, when there is a comparison between 2 persons, 2 things or 2 places, the comparative degree will be in affirmative form. Again we have to see that one sentence is in affirmative, the other will be negative. So here let us see the model 1, the comparative degree sentence. How do we know that this is comparative degree? When we see the adjective here, sweet, sweeter, sweetest. Sweet is positive degree, sweeter is comparative degree, and sweetest is the superlative degree. Here this sentence is in comparative degree. Sita's song is sweeter than Radha's. Here we are making comparison between 2 people, 2 persons. When this can be written in that it is in comparative degree because this adjective is in comparative. We have used than, and as I told you, we are comparing two languages here. So this we will rewrite as many boys said Sanskrit was not so easy as Persian. Here, as I told you, in the positive degree, this word, this adjective easier changes into easy. So you can use as easy as or so easy as. These are the phrases which we generally use in positive degree. So here we are making a comparison between two things and then we are expressing the same meaning in both the sentences. This is model 1. Let us move to model 2. When we move to model 2, here we find that there is a comparison between two people, two objects and two places. And here we see that the comparative degree is in negative form and the positive degree is in affirmative form. Whereas if you see the previous model, the comparative degree is in positive, that is affirmative form, and the positive degree is in negative form. But in model 2, the comparative degree is in negative form and the positive degree is in affirmative form. Here also we compare two people, two objects or two places. So let us take this example. Meat is not more nutritious than some beans. Some beans are at least as nutritious as meat. Just you have to keep in mind what changes we are making. We say meat is not more nutritious. Here the word nutritious, we say more, here we use more, most. More for comparative degree, most for superlative degree. If it is positive degree, we use as nutritious as. Let us take another example. Mill-made cloth is not cheaper than hand-woven cloth. Hand-woven cloth is at least as cheap as mill-made cloth. Here, the word cheap is the adjective. Cheap, cheaper, cheapest. Cheapest is the superlative form. If you see the comparative degree, you find there is a negative word in this, not cheaper. The same way when you see the positive degree, there is no negative word here. We rewrite this phrase as cheap as. So there is a difference between model 1 and model 2. In model 1, let us go back once again. The comparative degree is in affirmative and the positive degree is in negative form. In model 2, the comparative degree is in negative form and the positive degree is in affirmative form. Model 3. In model 3, we compare one person with many, one object with many objects and one place with many places. For example, no other kind of rice in India is as good as Patna rice. Patna rice is better than any other kind of rice in India. Patna rice is the best kind of rice in India. If you see the adjectives here, good, better, best. In model 4, we find that we write a particular sentence in 3 degrees. We write in positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree. Whereas in model 1 and don't write in all the three types. We write only when we get a sentence with a comparative degree, we write in positive degree. Again, in model 2 also we have a sentence in comparative degree, we put it in positive degree. But in model 3, we get a sentence in positive degree, we must be able to write in comparative and superlative. The same way, if comparative degree is given, we must be able to write in positive degree and superlative degree. Or if we get a sentence in superlative, we must be able to write in comparative as well as positive degree. So we have to keep in mind what are the things we have to keep in mind when we write a sentence. First of all, how do we identify the sentence, whether it is in positive degree or comparative degree or superlative? We can take the adjectives in mind first of all. See, here in the first sentence, as good as. Here in comparative degree, we have better. Good, better. And than also is there. In superlative degree, we have the word, the adjective, best. And we always use the definite article the along with the superlative degree. The best, the kindest, the cheapest, the largest, the smallest, so on. So as stated just now to you that one person, one object or one place is compared to many. Here we say no other kind of rice in India is as good as Patna rice. Patna rice is better than any other kind of rice in India. Patna rice is the best kind of rice in India. Let us take another example. No other animal is so noble as the lion. In comparative degree, the lion is nobler than any other animal. In superlative degree, the lion is the noblest of all the animals. Here you see the adjective noble, nobler, noblest. Seeing the adjective, you will be able to make out whether it is positive degree, comparative degree or superlative degree. Here we find that the positive degree in both the examples is in negative form. It starts with no. Whereas the comparative and superlative degrees in both the examples, they are not in negative form, they are in affirmative form. We move to the fourth model now. Here in model 4, we see that when a person, a thing or a place is considered to be the best, then the superlative degree is used. Here, if you remember the first two models, we have only used comparative and superlative degrees. But in model 3 and model 4, we have all the 3 degrees. Here you see the adjective is the best. See, India is one of the most ancient countries. It is the word most tells it is superlative degree. Here in model 4 also like model 3, we write the sentence in 3 categories. That is positive, comparative, superlative. The second example, let us take this. Very few boys in the class are as industrious as Ravi. Ravi is more industrious than most other boys in the class. Which we have done up till now. This is the last one. And we conclude with this. And do you find the difference between the first model, second model, third model and the fourth model? In third and fourth model, we have written the sentence in positive, comparative and superlative. The same we repeat in fourth model also. And we find we are not comparing with one person, or we are not comparing with two people. In this model, we try to prove that that particular place, person, thing is the best. That is what we see in these two examples. If we see the third and fourth model, we find that both the models we write a sentence in, we can write the sentence in positive, comparative and superlative degrees. But in model 4, we don't compare it with 2 or 3 things. We say that that particular person, thing or place is the best. That is what we see in these two examples. With this, we conclude the topic degrees of comparison.